Hello friends, welcome to Audiobook Daily. Today we'll talk about Critical Thinking by Nicole Price and Simon Bradley, published in 2016. Asha sat in a crowded meeting room, her hands shaking beneath the table. Her team had followed her lead on a major project, trusting her decisions, her judgment, and her confidence. But as the client revealed their disappointment with the final results, Asha felt her stomach drop. She had missed something obvious. Painfully obvious. She realized she had rushed, assumed, followed what seemed right instead of questioning deeper. She hadn't analyzed the data properly. She hadn't challenged her own thought process. She had simply acted without actually thinking. Driving home that evening, she felt defeated. Her mind kept replaying one question. Why didn't I think things through? Later, a mentor handed her a book and said with a gentle smile, "Start with this. It will change the way you think." The book was Critical Thinking by Nicole Price and Simon Bradley, and it did change everything. Critical Thinking by Nicole Price and Simon Bradley. The authors introduce a simple truth: your thinking can either be your most powerful tool or your biggest enemy. Most of us believe we think clearly, but in reality, we are influenced by emotions, assumptions, biases, habits, and mental shortcuts that sabotage good decisions. The book teaches you how to think deliberately, not reactively. 1. Understanding what critical thinking truly is. Critical thinking is not about being skeptical, negative, or argumentative. That means asking better questions, analyzing information instead of accepting it, challenging assumptions, pausing before reacting, finding the root cause, not just the surface issue. It is a skill, one you can train like a muscle. The book reminds us that the world today is full of noise, opinions, misinformation, and quick judgments. The ability to think clearly is a superpower. 2. The enemies of critical thinking. Price and Bradley explain that your mind has built-in weaknesses. Cognitive biases, confirmation bias, anchoring, emotional reasoning, all of these distort reality. They make you see what you want to see instead of what is true. Assumptions. We assume far more than we realize. The book teaches you to question. What am I taking for granted? Emotional reactions. Thinking and emotions both matter, but decisions made in strong emotional states are rarely accurate. Information overload. Too much data leads to poor decisions. Critical thinking teaches you to filter and prioritize. 3. Asking better questions. Great thinkers are not people with all the answers. They are people who ask better questions. The book teaches powerful questions. What evidence supports this? What evidence contradicts it? What else could be true? If I'm wrong, what would it look like? What assumptions am I making? This alone improves decision quality drastically. For slowing down your thinking, the authors highlight 2 thinking modes. Fast thinking, instinctive, quick, emotional, automatic, good for simple tasks, but dangerous for complex decisions. Slow thinking, deliberate, analytical, logical, intentional, the foundation of critical thinking. Most mistakes happen because we use fast thinking for problems that require slow thinking. The book teaches you to pause, breathe, analyze, and choose clarity over speed. 5. Evaluating information correctly. In the age of social media, information is everywhere, but truth is not. The book teaches you how to spot weak arguments, identify logical fallacies, detect manipulative language, evaluate the credibility of sources, distinguish fact from opinion. This skill protects you from being misled by others or yourself. 6. Making better decisions. Critical thinking is not only about analyzing, it's also about choosing wisely. The book breaks decision-making into steps. Define the real problem. Gather relevant data. Challenge assumptions. Evaluate options logically. Consider consequences. Decide based on reasoning, not pressure. When practiced, this leads to clearer thinking, fewer regrets, and better outcomes. 7. Thinking independently. One of the strongest messages in the book. Don't outsource your thinking. Just because someone is louder, older, more confident, or in a higher position does not make them right. Critical thinkers Think for themselves. Question authority respectfully. Avoid groupthink. Break free from mental autopilot. This builds confidence and intellectual independence. 8. Turning critical thinking into a daily habit. The authors offer simple practices. Journaling decisions. Asking why 5 times. Challenging one assumption daily. Reading from diverse sources. Practicing mindfulness. Reflecting on mistakes without judgment. These small habits build a sharper, clearer, wiser mind. Weeks after reading the book, Asha found herself in a similar high-stakes meeting. But this time, she was different. She paused before reacting. She asked clarifying questions. She challenged assumptions respectfully. She analyzed the data instead of rushing. She listened more carefully. She reasoned instead of reacting. Her team watched her with admiration. She was calm, sharp, confident. The project succeeded. Not because she became smarter overnight, but because she learned an important truth. Great decisions don't come from a brilliant mind. They come from a clear one. The mountain that once felt heavy on her back had dissolved, replaced with a new clarity she never knew she could have. And the lesson she now lives by? Think slow. Think deep. Think better. Thank you for listening. See you in next Audiobook Daily.